What is up everyone, and welcome to a really exciting video. You guys have been begging me for more PowerPC related stuff, and you do not get much more PowerPC than this. This is very back in the day. This is 1998 back in the day, or roughly 1998. In front of me here I have a PowerBook G3. This is the oldest Apple laptop that I have ever owned. My oldest prior to this was literally a PowerBook G4 1.5 gigahertz. So you know, that's still a fairly newish machine, or at least it was when I had it. So this is really old school. I got given this to me by my sister. It wasn't hers, but she collected it for me from someone. They were chucking it out or whatever, and here it is in all of its glory, and I am beyond excited to check this machine out. I'm so excited, and I'm really glad that I can bring you this on the channel. So today, this is going to be the first of many videos on this little beast. We are going to check it out. I don't know lots about it at the moment. In fact, I know next to nothing about it, so this is almost going to be like a noob overview. But we're just going to take a little look at it, and we're also going to power it up as well, because yes, it does work. So I hope you guys enjoy this little look at a legendary machine. This is a wonderful little PowerBook G3. So the first thing you guys will notice about it is the Apple logo is facing us, and yep, this machine predates Apple turning around the Apple logo. So when you open the machine, here it is. As you can see, it's not a bronze keyboard, so it's earlier than the machines with a bronze keyboard. And when you open the machine, like I say, the Apple logo is upside down. Okay, if I turn the machine like this is the first thing that you'll notice. So it's actually pretty weird, but you soon get used to it, and in its own way, it is quite cool. So if we take a look inside the machine first then, which is maybe an odd place to start, but whatever, I'm not used to covering laptops. We have a small little trackpad down here with, of course, the single click. We have a keyboard, and the keyboard itself is extremely nice to type on. This is quite a thick machine, but obviously really thin for its power back in the day. It's not crazy thick or anything, you know, they still sell PCs this thick, sometimes I guess. But yeah, the keyboard is really nice. It's got lovely key travel, and it feels really nice to type on, which is one massive plus to it. We've got two little buttons over here, not too sure what they do, but we have here the power button, volume buttons and brightness control buttons, as well as the two speaker grills. Of course, it says PowerBook G3 right there on the display, along with the retro multicolored Apple logo, which is exciting. These machines were pretty much the only machines in Apple's lineup that kept with the kind of retro design around this time, because the iMac G3 was a thing, the iBook was getting to be a thing, the Power Mac blue and white towers. So these stayed this sort of design for a long time, until the PowerBook G4 Titanium, where they started to look a bit more modern. But I do still really like this design. It's one that I've never seen in person. You never ever see these in person, and it is a really cool looking laptop. It's a much nicer looking system in person than it is in pictures. So here we have the display. I believe this is like maybe a 14-inch or maybe 15-inch display at a push, but I'm thinking 14, I'm not 100% sure. Now, if we close the system, in fact, actually, I'll show you just while I've got it like this. As you can see, one of the biggest differences between this and a modern laptop is the fact that the display is significantly thick. The whole system kind of curls around the base. You've got like a sloping display, so the display actually looks thicker than it is in the center, but it is still quite a thick machine. If you take a look at it from the side there, it is, you know, considerably thick. But for 1998, this was such a powerful system to have. I believe this could be anywhere from maybe around 200 megahertz, around the like 150 to 250 region. Again, not 100% sure. I assume that it can hold 128 megs of RAM or something along those lines, but you could probably push it up to 512. And I reckon it's got around, like, from what I was seeing on Mac Tracker, maybe around a 4GB hard drive, but I'm not too sure at all. If you're wondering about ports, guys, it is actually a wonderful port selection on this machine. We have headphones and microphones back here, the AC input, and underneath this door, the classic PowerBook design, are all of the ports, but you may be able to see that things like USB and Firewire are totally lacking. This is definitely a retro selection of ports, including Gigabit Ethernet, which is cool. Well, it won't be Gigabit, it's Ethernet. It'll probably be, you know, 10100 or whatever. And it does include S-Video and VGA output. As for the other ports, I'm not too sure. These are ADB ports, I believe. Not sure what that thing is. But it is definitely a retro array of ports, and you can see that they do have little diagrams above the ports saying what they are, and they also have that on the flap so that if you're looking at it from this end, you can see what the ports are, which is really cool. That's not totally it for expandability and connectivity. Far from it on this model, actually. On the side here, we have a nice PCI slot, so I assume that you could expand this with USB. USB was right around the corner, or pretty much available when this was out. So, you know, getting some USB ports in there would have been pretty much essential very quickly when all the older devices were being phased out. Behind this little flap here, there's a little flap that flips up like that. That is where the modem connection is, so I assume this is a 56K modem. On this side we have a battery, and you can see that if you press the button, that has a battery level indicator that isn't showing us any level at the moment. On the other side of the system is a little bit more bland, but still very exciting. We have an optical drive, and we have cooling vents. So this system is definitely really, really cool, but one of the things that makes this uber awesome, which I really, really love, is the expandability. And something that I wasn't too sure of how it worked until I finally got my hands on this machine and actually realized what it was like. So at this time, things like floppy drives and zip drives were still kind of popular, and this is a pro Apple machine. Now, as I showed you guys, this has an optical drive in the side, and it has a battery in the other side. But if I show you something now, this is extremely cool. Here I have, and these are third party, I'm not sure if Apple made official ones, but I believe they did. Here I have a standard 3.5-inch floppy drive. Okay, here it is in a nice little plastic enclosure. Floppy drive there, and of course, here I have a 100 megabyte zip drive, which is always good. So, you may be thinking, what is this all about? Well, check this out, guys. The front of the machine has a little flap there that you can just about see in frame, and a little flap there. And if you're not aware of what this machine is capable of, then let me show you right now. Lift that flap and pull out the optical drive. Here it is coming out. This is the optical drive, guys. Now, as you can see, we have a little flap here which adapts the bay between 3.5-inch and 5.25-inch bays. So this is a 5.25-inch device, of course, it's an optical drive, and that pushes the little bit of flap down, as you guys can see. But if you wanted to take out your optical drive and use, what do we have here? We have the zip drive here. If you wanted to use the zip drive, you'd just push it in, that flap would remain there, as you guys can see. Connect it in, and you have a zip drive, which is really, really cool. Now, this is awesome, as you guys may be able to see, but what happens if you want to transfer something from a floppy to a zip disk? Okay, you've got your battery in this side, right? This is incredible. You've got your battery in this side, and let's just flip that. And yeah, if you were connected to AC power, you could whip out the battery, and you want to connect a floppy drive? That's absolutely no problem at all. Let's just push it right in there. Now the really cool thing is, if you're using the floppy and you want to put your battery back in, you can in fact take out the zip drive, and the battery will indeed go in this side, like so. And yes, you could put two batteries in this at the same time. So not only am I lucky enough to have the computer for free, but also to have basically the three main essential drives plus battery that works in this system. Now, I will put the battery and optical drive back in and take out the floppy drive, because of course it's doubtful that I'll be using them. I may test them out if I can. I believe I do have both floppy disks and zip disks hanging around. But nevertheless, this is incredible, and I love this design. It's famous. This machine is totally famous for its dual bays, and I think it's one of the most innovative things ever. You know, a lot of people slate Apple around the time of this era. You know, just as Steve Jobs was getting back into it, but Apple was still making quite a few cock-ups around the place. But I do think Apple were doing some really cool things at the time, and their Pro notebooks like this were absolutely incredible. So there we go, we are back in with the battery and optical drive. Let me move these to one side. You may see them reappear in the future, but who knows. Now, I was indeed lucky enough, if I can find it around here somewhere. Where did I put it? Here I have the charger. Now, this is not an official charger. I believe the official charger was a nicely designed Apple one, but correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I know I do have a couple of people out there on my channel that are familiar with these PowerBook G3s. I'm basically a noob. But this does work, and it does connect into the system. So, like I say, it plugs into the back, and it isn't too... it's pretty similar to the newer PowerBook type connectors. But I'm not going to say too much because, like I say, I'm not an expert and I don't want to give anyone false information. I've just plugged the machine in, and as you can hear, it spins the fans up. I did notice that yesterday when I got the machine and tested it out, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the machine is on. So here we have it, and now that the machine is plugged in, we can safely power it up. Now, keep your ears peeled, guys, and listen to this awesome bong. 3, 2, 1, go. As you can hear, I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe that is a slightly different bong to the current one. Very similar, but it's that one where it sounds as if it has more high end, and it's more clear actually. I'm not 100% sure, like I say, but it does sound awesome coming from this older machine. Now, it takes an absolute age to get any video on the display, but I am so lucky because the hard drive, the display, everything works. I haven't tested the drives yet, but here we go. Mac OS. Now, you may notice that it doesn't say Mac OS 9 or anything like that. This system is actually still running Mac OS 8, which is incredible. That's the OS that came with it. It will run Mac OS 9, and it will also run Mac OS 10, up to version 10.2.8. I believe the newer PowerBook G3s with the bronze keyboard will run up to 10.3.9. Or 10.3 point whatever it went up to. I don't think it went up to 9, but then again, I'm not 100% sure. 10.2.8 is what this machine runs at max, I believe, but I'm still not 100% sure what model this is. There were two models of this that were available on different years, in different years rather, but very close to each other. So this is Mac OS 8 loading up, and I'm not going to show you too much on here at all because I haven't delved into it myself at all yet, and there still are documents from the previous owner on this machine. But as you can see, I just want to demonstrate that this machine is fully working, and the volume buttons on the machine actually turn it down and up. And let's have a go at the brightness settings. The brightness is all the way up, but I can pull it down, and as you can see, it does make a slight bit of difference, which is cool. It's just cool to have those keys there on the keyboard. Not sure if the display would have been this dim to begin with. It probably would. This is a very early machine, and it is quite a nice quality LCD for the age. But yes, everything works. Trackpad works. It's just generally very impressive. Now, it's still loading up. Don't want to be too naggy of the machine. But here we go. If I go to About This Mac, you can see it's running Mac OS 8, and everything is like really retro looking. I'm an OS 9 noob. I'm even more of an OS 8 noob, and I don't think you can do that. Yeah, it's window. Okay, cool. So as you can see, the machine works. Let me shut it down. The hard drive is pretty quiet for its age. It does have its moments. It shuts down nice and speedy. There we go. Job done. That is that. So guys, that is my overview of the PowerBook G3. Now, I'm just going to put it out there that I'm a total PowerBook G3 noob. I don't know anything about them. I've done a tiny bit of literally 1 or 2 minute research in Mac Tracker, but I am eager to find out more about this system. It's a very nicely designed system. You've got this very soft feeling lid here with the rubber, and the same on the bottom. It's not an ugly lump by any means, and it is something that I'm very excited to own because this is the oldest Mac that I've taken a look at on my channel for a very long time. So, my question to you guys is, if anyone knows anything interesting about these machines, feel free to post in the comment section. I will be doing my own research, but I know there are a few of you out there that have owned machines like this. And also, Let me know what you think I should do with it. If you want me to keep it as a retro machine, keeping OS 8 on there, then let me know. But if you want me to try and max it out and get OS 10.2 on there, that may be exciting as well. Let me know what you want, and maybe we can get some old games and stuff running on it, because for the time it was a capable system. I want to do a good few videos on this, and I know the PowerPC stuff has been requested. So this has been an awesome video for Friday, taking a look at this. I'd like to say a massive thank you to my sister and everyone involved with getting this machine to me, because to get a Mac like this around here is just so rare. It's pretty much unheard of. PowerBook G3 from 97, 98 is just colossally awesome. So a massive thank you for watching, everyone. I hope everyone has a brilliant weekend. I hope you're glad that I'm making PowerPC content again. Lots more to come on this guy in the future. Keep your eyes peeled. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in Monday's video.